What is going on YouTube? Hidden back making another brand new Crypto TV episode. In today's video, we're going to be looking at Litecoin, Bitcoin, Ethereum, as well as XRP to US dollar. We're also going to be looking at DueDEX as well as the current coin market cap. As you guys remember yesterday and the past couple of videos, we've been discussing that we seem to have some sort of uptrend that is still uplifting most of the cryptocurrencies, but there is an extremely strong and aggressive resistance that the coin has yet to retest or reach. And we discussed that we needed to kind of fill the gap in the next couple of days before we see really which direction the volume wants to take us in. So in today's video specifically, I want to look at these cryptocurrencies and kind of figure out what exactly is going on. As you can see within Bitcoin, we're actually back above $9,000, closer to 9,300. And like I said, we are currently retesting that massive resistance up here that we'll discuss later in today's video. Ethereum is another great cryptocurrency that we've been looking at too. This does help us kind of figure out that we kind of hit a bottom right now and we're kind of heading back up. And then I would like to discuss XRP as well as Litecoin right here. More about those coins to come. Otherwise, if you guys are new to the channel, definitely make sure to subscribe, turn on post notifications, leave a giant thumbs up. Remember to follow me on Twitter at CryptoVOfficial. This way, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns relating to cryptocurrency, the channel, the market, or you just want to hit me up to talk, definitely make sure to DM me over there. Otherwise, let's jump into today's episode. So guys, before we dive in, we left off yesterday's video saying that we needed to fill the gap. We've been calling some very interesting movements. Some of the other cryptos, we saw some consolidation being drawn. We do have this uptrend and we anticipated a curvature to swing us back to the upside. And as you can see, yesterday's video, we discussed that we needed to fill the gap for most of these cryptocurrencies as we are expecting to potentially see some bigger movements to come in the future. Now, if we look at the current coin market cap, I believe I refreshed this, but I'll do a quick double take. Yeah, so everything's refreshed. Markets are back up ever so slightly. Ultimately, we're up, I would say maybe 3%, 2% at most, mainly because even though Bitcoin's up 4, some of the other cryptos are up 1.8. 0.9, 2, and 1.5. So we're really not doing anything crazy, and that's expected because we're anticipating some more consolidation to happen within the market before we kind of see that major volume come in. So for right now, what I want to show you guys, which is interesting, is Bitcoin's chart. Then we'll look at DueDEX, and then I want to show you guys why Ethereum is actually pretty relevant. So we'll talk more about Bitcoin in a second, but you can see when you look at Bitcoin's chart, we do just see more movement to the upside, but we can't really justify why. We did discuss in the past couple of videos that after this, we usually have a tendency to consolidate back up. We were looking for another retest, a stronger retest, where a candle, not just a wick, would touch the resistance and then we'd probably head back down. But what I want to show you guys is that when you look at the Bitcoin chart, it's hard to predict exactly that we were going to head up. That's why I highly recommend you guys use other cryptocurrencies to base your judgment here. Obviously, I create these videos so you guys don't have to, but for some extra work, if you wanted to, you could have these pulled up on your screen to reference when you do make your own trades outside of my channel. So when you look at Ethereum, this was a great coin that did help us quite a bit figure out which direction the market was going to move to. We discussed that if Bitcoin was going to head back down and correct to the uptrend, starting a new higher low, Ethereum was probably going to be breaking outside of its uptrend. The cool thing is we didn't. We actually touched base here, setting a new higher low, and there's a good chance we'll probably head back higher, probably retest 225, if not see a slight jump back up to somewhere near this resistance here. Now, that doesn't mean we're going to blast forward. It just means that there is a potential retest of this resistance right here. There are obviously possibilities that we could be breaking bearish. We do know that there's a bearish cross on the MACD. We know that we are headed up to an extremely strong resistance, and when you focus on Bitcoin specifically, you can see exactly what is happening. In the past, we tend to have wicks retest this downtrend that's been starting for the past 3 years. Every time we tend to hit this resistance, we break bearish, we fall lower. Same thing happened here. We actually wicked up here, then we fell lower. So there's a very high chance that we're going to see potential price rise closer to $9,300. I'll zoom in really quickly. You know, somewhere up here where we wick back up to $9,400, $9,300, very similar to what we saw in the past. And then there's a good chance we'll correct lower or at least retest the uptrend. Most of the time we have the uptrend and then we break bearish from it. So that's ultimately what we're looking for, to fill this gap here, retest the resistance, and then probably break bearish through it. This is just a short-term move, and there's a good chance we'll see that consolidation happen after. Obviously, this is all in preparation for a big volume surge that's going to happen. You can see right here that we are looking at this on on the week, but if we consider this as an uncertainty, and then we started to drop, we had 1, 2, 3 weeks where the price went from $10,000 all the way down to $3,800. That was incredible, but it is definitely a possibility. So obviously this is what we're anticipating. This is what we're waiting for. It can definitely happen as we, fill this gap right here and then correct lower. We could fall all the way down to $5,500, if not lower, wick down below it, eventually consolidate up. But in terms of the next 3 or 4 months, maybe May, June, July, August, I'd say maybe the next 2 or 3 months, there's a very good chance we're going to have to switch bearish. And that is what I'm predicting. It's very obvious when you look at the chart like this. You can almost assume that the market wants to consolidate back down. We've had a great run since March, April, and now May. But there's a good chance come the end of May, we're probably going to switch into a bearish movement and potentially correct downwards to retest our uptrend. With that comes obviously preparation. We do have to prepare ourselves for this movement, and what that means is we need to obviously have a way to short the market. Obviously you definitely don't have to short. I recommend it, but you could wait it out, wait till we get back down to here, then buy in, anticipating movement to the upside. But it's really not practical at this time with the technology that's available to us. So really waiting for this to fill in, which can end closer to the end of May, and then anticipating a bearish break. Honestly, any point we get below this uptrend here is a flip to a bearish signal, and we could consolidate lower. My specific trades will be updated daily, if not daily, but weekly, on my Patreon. My specific trades, buying long, selling short, leverage trading, things like that, stop losses. So if you guys want those specifically, definitely join my Patreon. Link is in the description. Huge shout out to everybody who is supporting me on there as well. Specifically, looking at DueDEX right here. This is what we use to sell short and buy long. This is linked in the description too. Free to sign up, and they do give a sign up bonus. So definitely check it out. It does help support the channel. But specifically, there's a good chance we're going to see the consolidation. We're kind of way overextended from the uptrend. We're hitting a massive resistance, and there is more reason to believe a correction to the downside is kind of necessary. We could even draw this cap right here. This is huge. We didn't really have it drawn on DueDEX, but if we just highlight this right here, you can see what it is that we're dealing with. This is the problem zone, drawn out very clearly. We can just tweak this ever so slightly. Something along the lines of this is what we're dealing with, a massive downtrend, and that is something that we do have to pay quite a bit of attention to. I mean, this is the start of the chart, so we could even, if it lets me draw a trend line. Alrighty, this is also, I guess it won't let me draw it that far, but if we just extend this out to the starting point, if it lets me do that, we can then pull this down, and you can see, it's not too accurate, but there is some sort of, opening mouth here that's forming. That's not really something to be too worried about because they just added Bitcoin to DueDEX, and the company hasn't been around for, 10 years yet. So this is still something to pay attention to. Ultimately, I would still focus on the charts that are forming on the Coinbase charts on the weekly for trading view. But in regards to Bitcoin on DueDEX, we more so want to pay attention to this downtrend here. And there's a very, very, very high chance we're going to get rejected and, consolidate lower. So definitely prepare yourselves for a short in the market. You can use Risk Manager to short the market as well and set up a stop loss, but ultimately anticipate a correction lower. That's where I am kind of leaning towards. Let me know what you think in the description below, in the comments below. And lastly, to cover XRP and Litecoin, you can see for the most part, we're kind of just consolidating outwards. Same thing with Litecoin, more consolidation. Yes, we're being withheld by the support. That could have been another reason why we started to head back up, but ultimately consolidation is needed for this market, and we may have a chance where we do switch bearish. So there is something you do have to pay attention to. Honestly, for the most part, like I touched upon in yesterday's video, XRP really just needs to fill the gap. We need to complete this right here. It ends closer to the end of May, as most of the cryptocurrencies are doing. So it's merely just a waiting game. We have a couple of weeks. Obviously, if you're a high-risk trader, you can take advantage of that by putting in shorts, expecting it to fall to 20 cents, retesting its moving average, or putting in a long, expecting it to retest 22 cents, which I do believe both of those will be accomplished by the time we fill and retest the apex. But otherwise, that's pretty much gonna wrap up today's video. I mean, same thing goes with Litecoin as it consolidates out further. End of May is right about here, so we're more so looking for that, even though it does get extended longer. But it's mainly just focusing on Bitcoin, Ethereum, and XRP for right now. Otherwise, if you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe, turn on post notifications, leave a giant thumbs up. Follow me on Twitter at CryptoVOfficial. This way, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, you can DM me over there. Otherwise, I will see you in tomorrow's video. Peace.